All right, let's do this. It's time for Will It Escape Room Volume 1 PDF edition. In this series, I'm going to take a single tool and I'm going to see if I can create a digital escape room just using that one tool. In this edition, we're looking specifically at just PDF. So the tool I'm using is Adobe Acrobat Pro, doing everything inside of there. And the subject, which will probably be the subject for a lot of these, is general music, because that's my original teaching background. So let's get started. For all of these, I am using some random criteria to help get the escape room kicked off. So the theme, as you can see here, was haunted house or ghost hunter. And then I have a series of different kind of puzzle structures. And so for this one to go with my ghost hunter theme, we had the series of questions prompt. That meant I had this wonderful vision of using the attachment tool. I learned you could attach one PDF inside of another PDF and potentially password protect the attachment. And I thought, ooh, this could be really cool. I could have a whole series of nested password protected PDFs that the user could open throughout the story. So they have their original PDF, inside of that's a password attachment, inside of that's a password attachment. I had this whole thing built out. And unfortunately, it did not work. I learned that PDF attachments, while great in theory, are really problematic. Not the password so much, but the attachment part. You can't email them because a lot of email providers just basically filter out any attachments inside of a PDF for good reason. They're also really hard to share between devices. So I did a lot of building on a PC computer and then tried to use it on my Mac, and the Mac just froze up every time that I tried to open this, even if I was using Adobe Reader, which should have worked. So the vision that I had did not quite come together. Here is what I ended up with, though, was a folder of PDFs. So the final product, I had to cheat just a little bit and use a folder of PDFs, but all but the first one are password protected. So you work through each folder to get to the next. I couldn't get the linking to work. It was just way more trouble than it's worth. If you know a good way to do that, please let me know. But I ended up with, as you can see on the screenshot below, just a series of PDFs, and all but the first one are locked so that you need a password to get into them. So let me give you a quick demo of what that looks like. And I'll show you a little bit about how I built it as well. So here is the first file. You can see the attachment window's open because I kept messing with attachments. But basically, there's a little story in here. I created all of this with the editing tools in Adobe Acrobat Pro. So just adding text, adding images, things like that. But for the person who's opening it, they just read here. They scroll to the bottom, and then it says click on document 2 and type the word prompted by the story in the password box to open. So they're going to open up document 2. It's going to say it's password protected. In this case, the first password is pianissimo. One other thing to be aware of for locking up PDFs with Adobe, the password has to be 6 letters or greater. So like I couldn't use the term piano, I had to use pianissimo. And then we'll hit OK. And then it just opens up each password. And basically, this is just a series that you read, and it prompts you to open the next thing. So document number 3, oops, I should pay attention to what that was. Here was 2. All right, so then they need, the second one is legato. So we'll open up number 3. And that opens it up, and so on and so on. And I have some riddles baked in here, but you really could do it however you want. Just a series of PDFs telling the story. You finish one, you get the password to open up the next one. And like I said, it uses Italian musical terminology. So how could this actually be useful? I feel like this PDF lock escape room could be really helpful in conjunction with some other tools. So maybe since PDFs are really good at showing like outside links, you could have one PDF, kind of how you might see a Google Slide escape room, with lots of links to like things on the web, YouTube videos, websites, clues, things like that. And then you open up the second PDF and it's locked, something like that. You really could kind of app smash this with a lot of other tools. You could also use basically anything to create your initial PDF, right? You could use Canva, you could use any sort of design program to create those initial PDFs with lots of fun links on them. I could also see handing participants a thumb drive that has a lot of files. This could be a really cool escape room idea that would have a lot of files, maybe some red herrings, and they have to do something similar, but just with a lot of other information kind of around it. You could also use, file names as part of your clue. There's lots of things you could do within that kind of file folder structure. So in conclusion, PDFs, will they escape room? Kind of. They didn't quite do it in the way that I want, but that password mechanism to open is definitely a valid lock you could do, and you can be really creative, combine it with a lot of other tools, and I think have a really nice, helpful element in your escape room.